The Great Northern Prepper here. Today we're going to be going over and reviewing the Berkey light water filter. These are all the components, as you can see, of the Berkey light water filter as they came. I'm going to go over each individual component, and first we're going to start, the first step is to prime the filters. As you can see, there are two filters, one on your right hand side and one on your left. They're the black cylindrical tubes, as you can see, and to do that we're going to need to go to the faucet. Okay, the first step will be, as I said, priming the filter, as you can see here, with the using the priming button, which is included. You just place that onto the neck like that, press that up on the faucet, and you hold it there pretty steady. And you'll turn on the faucet, and as you can see, it's starting to bead sweat and run a little bit. And if you can't see it, there's beads on there just like you would see on a water bottle, cold water bottle on a hot day. You let that go for about 5 seconds, and you turn it off, and you've now successfully primed it. And you'll wash it off real quick, kind of get the dust off the exterior of the purification element, and anything that came from the packaging or from transport, because you definitely don't want any of that, because that's going to get in your water. Okay, the next step will be installing the filters into the body, the upper chamber of the Berkey filter. And what you're going to be doing is taking the filter, and it has already the exterior or interior washer right there. You'll be placing it, as you can see, there are 4 holes. You'll be placing it in there, and then taking the wing nut and tightening it, but you do not want to over tighten the wing nut on there. And then what you'll do is take the next one, tightening it over, same as before. And since this model comes with 4 holes, it only comes with 2 filters. You can buy the additional 2 if you wish. That just helps it filter the water faster, and has nothing to do with any of the performance of it. It doesn't not filter it as well. It just filters it faster. What comes is 2 blocking plugs, and what you'll do is put those plugs in the holes, press them firmly in there, and then you have the upper chamber is finished. Now, I forgot to mention this at the very beginning, but you're going to want to wash your hands with an antibacterial soap, and you're going to want to wash all the pieces of the filter with an antibacterial soap. So you're going to want to wash the upper chamber, the base, the lower chamber, as well as the spigot and all the parts. But you do not wash the filters with any of that soap, because then you're just going to get that in there and it's going to taste soapy. It's going to be disgusting. Alright, now on to the lower chamber. Next we are going to install the spigot into the lower chamber, and as you can see, there's already a hole right there. So what you're going to do is take the spigot, take the external washer, and you're going to work it down to where it fits. You're going to insert the spigot in there, and then, if you can see that, you're going to take the internal washer, place it over the threads of the spigot, and then the spigot nut right there. And then what they recommend is that you actually turn the spigot, and you're going to hand turn this only, until it's tight. And then once it's tight like this, you're going to make sure that it turns back so that the handle is facing downward. And as you can see, now we have the nice water spigot right there. Okay, and then we will take the base, and that's what it sits on. You will put the base, and you're going to line it up. As you can see, there's a little ridge right there, and this slightly contours in and fits securely in place. So now you have the base and the lower chamber all installed, and next we'll move on to completing the whole construction. The next section, what they recommend is that you place the upper chamber, the one with the filters in it, upside down, and then what you will do is you will take the lower chamber, align it, and you'll take it, you'll flip it, and then now you have a Berkey light water filter completely finished. You can see the spigot is right there, and it is a bit tall, but what it offers you is a great water purification system that can be used in the home, on the retreat, definitely not on the go, but will offer you great advantages over regular water filters like the Pure or the Brita. It's wonderful in the home. It filters out a lot more than you would ever get with any of the regular Walmart type water filters. And I have now added a gallon of water to it, and I'll unhook this from the base, and as you can see, it's coming down relatively slowly, but it's you don't buy this for the speed, but you can see the filters are working. And I don't have any food coloring in the house, but that's kind of the system test, and I have seen it done on other YouTube videos, and I'll link to that. But you can actually add food coloring, 1 tablespoon per gallon used, and it'll actually come on out. And you should do that at 6-month intervals to make sure. The stats for the Berkey will be up on the website, and it does actually have, this is the bare bones base for the Berkey. They actually have an optional LED one that shines light into it. Looks a little bit better for a kitchen if you want a little bit more ambiance to it. But the Berkey water filter will protect you from and your family from disease-causing viruses, pathogens, other waterborne contaminants in your water. It does state on the purification sheet that and installation sheet that if you have a source of water that you think might contain like a lot of viruses or bacterial contaminants, such as like a really dirty, nasty water sitting pond, they recommend that you use, as we've stated on the site, and I'll link to that as well, but you use plain bleach or iodine, about 16 drops per gallon, to treat the water before purifying. And this will kill minute pathogens such as viruses and stuff like that. So it will filter out majority of the contaminants, but just to be sure, especially with really, really dirty water, you're going to want to do that. You're going to need to, after you do the bleaching and everything like that, you're going to have to remove the disinfectant, or you're going to get a little bit of the odor and a little bit of the taste in the water still. If you have it, if you're not using this consistently, like say you have it in a retreat or a cabin or something like that, you're going to want to, when you leave, take the purification elements, those black tubes, and allow them to air dry, and then you store them dry. You do not store them wet, or they will start to grow bacteria just like anything else. if you buy a couple extras, or if you just buy this and don't use it for a while, I would recommend you use it in your house, especially to get out a lot of the chlorine and that kind of stuff that's in your water that they put in there, and fluorides. That if you have extra filters and stuff, if you store them dry and they've never been used, you can store them pretty much indefinitely. You never want to place the purification elements in the dishwasher or microwave, and the purification elements are self-sterilized. You don't need to boil them or anything like that. Like I said, you never want to use any soap or any detergents or anything like that. And you cannot use this for salt water. It's not intended for that. That will gum it up real quick. Also, like I said, with the untreated water, the nasty standing stuff, it can clean that, especially if you use bleach, but it's really meant for lake and river water, the more cleaner waters and stuff like that. The Berkey has a 2-year warranty, and they calculate it in 6-month intervals, and I really recommend using. This is my first one I've ever used personally, but I have used and seen other ones that other people have had. But this is the first one I've had in my home, and I'm really happy to have that. They're probably the best water filtration out there, and they are much better than your Pure or your Brita water filters. Those miss a lot of the other things. Mostly those are just to take the taste and smaller larger contaminants, I should say, out of the water, but they will not protect you like the Berkey will. The Berkeys can run $100 to a couple $100, depending on the exact model that you get and how many purification elements that you use, but they are well worth it, and they are perfect for the retreat or the kind of sedentary environment that you may have, even if it's just your home or anything else like that. So with that, we'll be signing off. And the Great Northern Prepper is out. Please comment on the YouTube site and go to the site at www.greatnorthernprepper.com. We also have a Twitter and a Facebook account. Go on there, like us there, comment, say hi. If you have any questions or comments or anything like that, leave them there. All right, thank you so much.